I see some of my son's Rams baseball parents here as well. We just came back from 3 weeks of tournaments where we spent 3 nights in hotels at about $200 a night. We had 3 meals a day. We paid $20 to enter that tournament. During the tournament, they had concession stands because you can't bring food in. We paid for water, we paid for drinks, we paid for other meals. My family alone is a family of 2 when we travel without my kids. Thankfully, the school covered my son's hotel and food. They didn't cover mine. In the last 3 weeks, my husband and I have spent $2,000 between gas, hotel, food, and everything else that comes with it. As a sports parent, you bet I went into Academy and I bought whatever he needed that he was lacking. And when I was coming out of Academy, I ran into the other Del Rio parents who were going in to do the same thing. I understand that y'all are trying to accommodate everybody, and with the plan that's up there, it looks like you have thought of everything. It looks like the time and the effort that was gone into building this plan, the studies that were done, the votes that were taken, it sounds like at that point you were listening to your constituents. At this point, I don't know what happened. I don't know what the 3 commissioners who decided to change their vote, I don't know what conversations were had or what came into your mind, or if there's a personal issue amongst the court that makes you say, you know what, we're going to screw this guy over. I don't know what it was, but I will say this. I've lived in Chihuahua. I've lived in Buena Vista. So I've lived in several of your precincts. And yes, there's people here who are absolutely right. There's a lot of things that need to be done. But speaking as a parent who has been traveling for 10 years with my son and has never been able to host a single tournament in Del Rio where we can show our family members, because our families can't travel to everything that we do. It's just impossible. But my parents can't watch my son play baseball unless I stream it live on Facebook, because they can't afford to travel with us the way that we do. Their health doesn't always allow it. What we're asking you to do is to consider the big picture. Yes, SC Ranch is a big, huge piece of land. I believe that it does protect Laughlin. I work for a title company, so I have read restrictions at Valverde Park Estates. I know that there are restrictions on how high you can build things because we're protecting the base. I know these things because this is part of what I do for a living. So my point is that I just want you to look at the bigger picture. SC Ranch is there, yes, it can be developed. But why not start with what you already have in place and then maybe look at a second complex at another place, or a third complex? All of the cities that we go to, I mean, we go to even the smallest towns, Pleasanton, Floresville. There are very few people living there, but there are beautiful sports complexes. And all we need is a 5-minute drive to a restaurant and we're good to go. And I'm not talking about, you know, Olive Gardens or beautiful steakhouses. I'm talking about Subway. But if it's close by, it gets our boys through. So I'm talking to you not as, I'm not a president of any league, but I have volunteered in the Pee Wee League with cheer. My husband was a football coach. I have been a T-ball coach. I've been a softball coach. My husband is currently a baseball coach, both in the Little League and in Babe Ruth. I've been a cheer coach for a private gym here. So I've been at just about every single sports thing you can think of. We even had my son play soccer at one point. So we've been there. We need this complex. We don't need it in 20 years. Whatever beef it is that y'all have, it's time to put it aside and start thinking about your community, because we need you to do the right thing here. So, you already know my name, right? So, I'm asking you, do the right thing for all of us.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. We got one more. If she's quick, we've got one more. Run, run, run.
Hi, my name is Carla Hernandez, and I have a soccer league in town. It's called Del Rio Furia, and actually we're using my land, or my husband's land, and myself to use the fields. I currently, this is more for Mr. Wardlaw and Mr. Flores. I have 8 fields. And to answer your question, this fairgrounds is not enough fields. I registered 400 players last August, and I was like, the parking lot, I didn't have enough parking lot. So I know this is going to be very tight. So yes, the SC ranch is perfect. I had 45 teams, 70 coaches, almost close to football as well. But however, if we don't have funding for SC, because that's going to cost more, I'm all for the fairgrounds. As long as we could keep also the horses, because that's a sport that we need as well.
I'd like to say something real quick. Like I said before, the master plan is for the fairgrounds, can be transferred to the SC Ranch.
How long will that take?
It wouldn't take no time, it would take money. That's it. It would just take money.
Hold on. He's talking. If y'all want to talk, y'all can come up to the
And
mic.
I'm being realistic. I don't want Del Rio to hate me because I'm just being honest. I'm just letting y'all know. I have 8 fields in 5 acres, and it's like, thankfully we got 400 people that registered, and it seems like my league is growing. But yeah, I'd rather use a sports complex. You know, right now we're struggling to water the fields. We put sprinklers out there, and we're brainstorming like how to, you know, because of the drought that we have. I have better fields at Buena Vista. I mean, not trying to be bad on the city, but it's like, yes, like Mr. Pascasio said, we do have to do more maintenance. Maybe it's not you, maybe it's the city, more maintenance on the fields that we have. But I'm giving you facts that I have 8 fields on my land, and it's not enough. Like, I'm struggling, and I have to rent Buena Vista for practices. So it is small. SC would be perfect, but if there's no funding and there's no floor plans, by all means, go for this.
Okay, I'm going to do something. Is that it? I'm sorry. Real quick. Do you want to come up? You are going to be the last one, okay? And you go ahead and get done. I'm not trying to cut you short.
I just want to give you realistic points, but, you know, if there's nothing else, there's no funding, I mean, please consider this, sir. Like, it would benefit all of us. And as long as you keep the horse, because that is a sport. George Bull riding, it's something that we all admire. That's Del Rio famous for, you know?
Yeah.
So we need to keep those stables in there as
All right.
well.
Thank you. You're it. I know that I've said you're it 4 times, but you're it.
My name is Greg Martinez. I run the 830 Flag Football League. And like Carla and Hera were saying, that benefits just the baseball league. Flag football is growing. I get about 600 kids a year. They get 400. What is that going to benefit us? I try to use baseball fields before, and we get kicked out. They don't allow us to use the baseball field. Even the tackle couldn't use it because they said they were for baseball. All them fields should be used for everyone. That doesn't even look like we could grow anywhere. That just looks like, well, we got there, that's it, and nobody else is going to get anything. Are we going to wait 20 more years again to get what we need to get? I mean, that doesn't show anything. That just shows baseball, baseball, baseball. We already got the Field of Dreams being built 2 miles away. How many more baseball fields do we need at this facility? I mean, like I said, my kids just got kicked out from Buena Vista because Hera and them rented it. But like I said, my flag football kids couldn't use it. I mean, it's one of them things that there's other sports. Basketball right there, I just see, 3 courts? Thunder has a lot of kids. They're running around every which way trying to find fields. And that doesn't seem like they're helping Thunder. That doesn't seem like they're helping Furia, Border, Laughlin. Our flag football tackle, 1 field right there, that's shared with soccer. What's going to happen Saturday when soccer and football are playing at the same time? Who's going to use the field? You guys should look for everybody, a skate park, a pool for the kids that do swimming, the horses, all that.
So
That
you're
just looks good for
you're
one
willing
entity.
to, I can tell you, there's been concerns about dollars. Everybody said dollars. If we stay within our means, that sports complex could probably be funded without a tax rate
Correct,
increase.
but what does it help everybody else out? Are we
Well,
gonna be
I mean, if
are
y'all
we
are
gonna
willing-
be able to use those fields?
I'm going to let you talk.
I mean, are we going to be able to use them? Soccer or not?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
So why do we have to share the soccer with football? I
Where-
mean, that's
where
theirs.
at, though?
So why does baseball get their own on their own? You go through the baseball fields all year long. Nobody's using them. They're by themselves. You go through soccer. You go through everything. They're all busy. I just say be equal to everyone.
Yeah,
If you're
no.
going to build, be equal.
Yeah,
Wherever.
no, and that's the problem that we've had in the past also. We have 1 or 2 that always, I want this, I want that. And I'm not throwing rocks
No,
at you
no.
because you have every right to come,
Correct.
¿verdad? And that's how come we're doing this. But in the past, we have had issues with more people want. There was a bond put out in 2017. It failed miserably, okay? This is a plan that today, if we were to jump off on it today, depending what my taxable value is fixing to come in at, we might not even need to raise the tax rate.
Correct, but it's just going to benefit some.
Okay,
Not all.
so do we put
everybody
it out
else,
for bid? Do we
wait-
put it out for a vote,
we
and then
wait
it
for
fails
20
again?
We wait for 20 years again ourselves?
Well, I mean,
Or we go play in the dirt patches
no,
where my
no.
kids
You tell me what is it that you'd like for me
I
to
mean,
do?
it's
Tell me
shared-
what is it that you
where
want me
it's
to do?
shared by all.
Tell me what you want me to
Where
do.
it's shared by all, or-
And I think that if
or
we
they
build
could
this
be-
here or we
or
build
they-
it at the SC Ranch,
But where can
that
we
it should
grow?
be shared for all.
Where can we grow?
No, here you can't, and I've already said that.
SC
need
So
to
if
grow.
you're willing,
We need to
to go out for a bond,
Wait another 20 years for it to grow?
well, let's do this.
Build?
Who wants it at the fairgrounds? Raise a hand. Who wanted it at the fairgrounds? Okay. No, I want to know who wants it at the fairgrounds. That is in this room.
I'm sorry, Judge. I just want to
No,
make...
just 1 minute. 1 minute. Who wants it at the SC Ranch? Okay, we've got, I don't know. It's pretty much, so if we were to go out into a vote for the general public, instead of us making a decision, it's going to cost y'all more time. Just by the people that showed up, the people that wanted at the SU Ranch, or horse people. Would I look back there in the back? ¿Verdad? So, I don't think that we should be divided. We're trying to come up with an idea of who, and you're going to be it. You're going to be it, okay?
yeah.
And I can tell you,
I
I've
just
got a person that's horses, and I will tell y'all right now that if I'm going to spend $57 on a kid, and I'm going to spend $1,070 per person that rents, my vote is always going to be for kids. End of story. All right?
Absolutely. In closing, Judge and Commissioners, something Mr. Flores brought up, and he said it in a negative way, but it shouldn't be a negative way. Let's start what we can get. And like this gentleman saying that he doesn't have enough football fields, maybe implement something different, create different things. And this drawing here does not represent the part that the school is supposed to be adding on.
The school's got only 2 fields.
And like Mr. Flores said, what are we going to do next? Open somewhere else? Absolutely. The sky's the limit. You know what? The perfect location would be right there behind, on, I don't know what the street
Yeah.
is,
And I
behind the
can tell
hospital,
you,
behind the border
Arturo,
patrol, all that
I
land.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've had enough. If y'all had enough, y'all want to keep on.
I'd like to say
It's up
something
y'all.
real quick, Judge.
Yeah, just hold on.
Judge,
Hold on, Commissioner.
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
But real quick.
Cons-
And I agree.
Correct,
I agree.
correct.
But we keep beating, and not to do the pun on the horses, we keep beating the same dead horse.
It's
But,
Ro- it's
Commissioner
Rodriguez keeps-
Flores.
Well, I'd like to say something. Wherever we decide to build the sports complex, and I'm all for it, I prefer the SU Ranch, and we got money available. We didn't get the grant money we applied for. We're going to reapply for it. But we got several $1 million that we can work with to start a sports complex tomorrow, if we want to.
That's the question.
Well, there's money, county funds that are available, ARPA money. Well, that depends. But there's ARPA money, there's $1 million that we set aside for food distribution to centralize, find a location, and we can use that for the sports complex. And then we got a couple $1 million with ARPA money. Well,
Okay. Commissioner, if you'll go on, finish your sentence, and then it looks like
no, I
people
mean, I'm
want to
just
talk.
letting the people know that there is money. Not a lot, but there is some money available.
Okay. Commissioner?
So I
good?
plan to make this kind of short and quick.
It's good.
My name's Ernie Cervantes. I'm the president of the Patriots organization. We are a nonprofit. Everything that we get goes back to the kids. We range from 8 through 14 with the 14-year-old softball team. I'm currently sitting at 6 teams. I will make a 7th team in June. That'll be a 9U team. I know that there was a question or a saying that there were 9 baseball fields. By this fall, 3 of my teams are going to be 13 through 18. So where do they have to practice at? Where can I get them practicing? We've been blessed to use your local fields, but a kid that's 13, 14, what better am I getting him by practicing at a little league field? So in my opinion, I think we need to build it there at the complex, at the fairgrounds. My 14U, we were ranked 5th out of 26 in South Texas this year. We were able to get networking with teams out of Seguin, Pearsall, Pleasanton, and the San Antonio area that are willing to come down here and host a 2-day tournament with us. We had an 8U team that did a tournament that y'all let us host there at the county, which Colton Woody, he's part of my 12U, if he's there, he wants to come up and say something on behalf of this. Colton?
Hi, my name is Colton Woody, and I think that we should have the complex at the fairgrounds because
Where would you rather have it? Where would you rather have the sports complex?
the fairgrounds.
Now I want to bring one of my 14U, Louis Foss. I wanted to speak his mind.
Hi, my name is Louis Foz, and I'd rather have the complex at the fairgrounds.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And then one of my 9U, Diego Cardenas.
I'd rather have the sports complex at the fairground.
Thank you, sir. Very good. Good job.
So I want to thank you guys for your time. I'll just make it short and quick. So thank you.
Thank you.
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Artemio Cruz. Quería ver si me permitían hablar unas palabras en español por la cuestión de que yo no sé inglés. Nomás quería dar mi punto de vista sobre el tema que se está hablando. Pues nosotros practicamos el deporte del caballo. Tengo la fortuna de estar practicando a varias niñas en montar, enseñarles cómo manejar y cuidar sobre todo un caballo. Que lo hagan de la mejor manera, lo más correcto que se pueda hacer para un caballo, y hay que tener pues cuidados y todo eso, y el caballo pues también necesita su atención. Yo quisiera dar el punto de vista que yo estoy, que ustedes tomen su mejor decisión que se pueda, para eso están ustedes como representantes nuestros, ¿ve? Que tomen la mejor decisión. Y respeto a todos los que necesitan su lugar para practicar o algo así. Ahorita, en el lugar de que todos les pidieron que levantaran su mano, yo les quiero comentar que todos, el grupo donde levantaron las manos, son las que están practicando con nosotros, no son los papás ni nada. Yo estoy seguro que un 50% de esos niños que juegan pelota, que respeto mucho, si les preguntan de que si les gustaría montar un caballo, yo les aseguraría que sí interesan en montar un caballo. Entonces, yo vengo a dar, pues eso sobre el hipódromo, que tenemos años de estar allí, y es una cosa, se puede decir hasta histórica, de muchos años. Entonces, ¿por qué no respetar ese lugar? Pero como les digo, es decisión de todos ustedes, y para que nos representen y hagan lo mejor que se puede hacer, ¿ve? Pero pues quiero pedirles también a ellos que pues también los apoyen, pero nosotros también necesitamos apoyo. Únicamente que aquí en Del Río es el único lugar donde se puede cabalgar a caballo. No hay otro. Campos hay varios, pero para cabalgar a caballo no hay otro lugar. Entonces, ¿por qué no tomar en cuenta ese gusto de varios niños que les gustaría y les gusta mucho practicar ese deporte, ¿ve? Allí practican, pues, después del manejo de caballo y todo eso, practican pues carreras de barriles, de varas y otros más deportes, ¿ve? Entonces me gustaría mucho que lo tomaran en cuenta tanto ustedes como ellos, que canchas pueden hacerlas en otra parte, ¿para qué destruir lo que ya está hecho? Pero como les digo, la decisión es de ustedes, ¿no? Muchísimas gracias por su atención y pues estamos.
Y Artemio, ¿verdad? De deshacer el voto del corte nunca ha sido para deshacer los caballos, ¿verdad? Es más, vamos a poner otra cancha, otra área también para que trabajen los caballos, ¿verdad? Yo sí sé una de las señoras que habló, ¿verdad? Dijo que en veces pues que los caballos, ¿verdad? Como ya andan practicando, en veces hay problema, ¿verdad? Y sí es algo que vamos a agarrar, ¿verdad? Vamos a tener que tomar para hacer la decisión, ¿verdad? Pero yo sí te digo que esta corte nunca ha dicho hemos tenido 2 votos para moverlos y luego se vino para atrás porque queríamos que los caballos se quedaran ahí, ¿verdad? Y en parte del plan ese, ¿verdad? Era de hacer otra cancha para que trabajaran los caballos. Y no nomás con los 2 que tenemos, arreglarlos, ponerles luces y arreglar las pipas, porque en realidad pues están cayendo, ¿verdad? Ahí donde está usted y la otra gente que están con usted, acabamos de arreglar las canchas esas, ¿verdad? Donde están, ¿verdad?
Así es, sí.
Y la decisión de mover donde están los caballos ahí abajo, donde están hechos de fierro, también pues necesitan mucho trabajo, ¿verdad? Bastante trabajo. Y la gente que tenemos ahí, de tener 182 caballos, o 182 que andan usando los tablos, ¿verdad? Y, ¿verdad? Hay lugar para ustedes también. Yo pienso que hay lugar para ustedes también, ¿verdad? Pero eso, como dices, es la decisión que la Corte va a tener que tomar.
Así es decisión con ustedes como representantes de nosotros. Y únicamente quería yo darles a conocer a todos estos padres de familia de los niños que no traen a sus niños. Así como vinieron a pasar esos niños, aquí están todos los que practican, la mayor parte de los que practican el deporte de caballo. Ellos están interesados en venir. Ellos no les están exigiendo a que vengan a que
vienen, ¿verdad? Y también, ¿verdad? La niña mía es maestra en Chavira. Y hay muchos niños también que nunca han visto caballos o venados, ¿verdad? Y cuando compramos el SC Ranch, es parte de eso también, es que queríamos abrir como para que llevaran su caballo, para que llevaran su ATV, para que fueran a conocer, ¿verdad? Y es buena idea, es buena cosa.
Pues es una buena costumbre, una cultura que se les puede realizar más a los niños que también les gustaría ese deporte, porque a mí me ha tocado, inclusive que han estado jugando niños, algo, y todos van a ver al caballo y me han preguntado que si pueden ir a montar un caballo.
Sí.
Desafortunadamente no todos tenemos los caballos adecuados para practicar los niños. Nos hace mucha falta apoyo para mantener más caballos, para que puedan practicar ese deporte de los niños. Pero sí hay muchas personas interesadas, sobre todo niños y niñas, en montar caballos y también gente adulta, ¿por qué no decirlo? Y todo eso lo estamos diciendo.
Y muchas gracias por venir ¿verdad? Y hablar con nosotros. También eso era una de las razones que tuvimos tantas veces que votamos para poder dejar los caballos ahí. ¿Ok?
Casi me doy cuenta que ustedes van a tomar la mejor decisión. Muchísimas gracias.
No, a usted, muchas gracias.
Good evening. I'm here. My name's Dolores Martinez, and I have nothing against any of y'all. But just remember, guys, at the end of the day, we need to come together. Complex or no complex, but I prefer a complex. Wherever it's at, just remember each person. Football, baseball, basketball, volleyball, and then people right in the back. They don't have a lot of people to support them, okay? But don't forget them. Just remember that fairground is not history, because that's where our bull riders, and we had a famous bull rider there. We need to come together and work together. Build here, build there. Figure out if we can make some fields over here and fields over there. Do we have money for here? You're saying, Mr. Gustavo, there's money. Work with Mr. Owens. with that money. The school needs fields for their high school kids to have tournaments. Let's work together. Let's not point the finger at anybody but yourself. Because when you point that finger, you're pointing 3 fingers at yourself. We need to work together, guys, and bring Del Rio, and not only Del Rio, pero Valverde. Because Del Rio is under Valverde. And this complex has been in the talks. Let's get that money out if there's money. If there's no money, straight out tell us. And what we got to do to bring in money. Okay? We need businesses. We need everything in Del Rio. Everybody's talking about Uvalde. Uvalde did their complex where? Did Uvalde build it inside? They were inside, but then they had to go outside. Did Eagle Pass build theirs inside? They were inside, but then they had to build something outside. But their school, their city, their county, everybody, come on, guys. I know it's hard to work together, but we got to pull together. Because if one is pulling one direction, the other one's pulling the other, we're not going to get anywhere. I'm not a leader up there, but I know about baseball, basketball, football, and all those sports. I have 3 brothers and a mother that played basketball, and right now she's still alive and 93 years old. That tells you that sports is important. Then my husband, he was a charro. He knows about horses, how much it takes to buy hay and feed that horse. That child has to be there every day to feed, to give water. It's taking care of a baby. They're no different than anybody else. But all we got to do is remember, does horses mix with balls? Does balls mix with horses? We just need to be careful on what we do and what we do. I'm not pointing at you, Mr. Wardlaw, nor Mr. Vasquez, nor Mr. Owens, nor Mr. Nettleton, nor Mr. Flores. But I do say, let's work together. I know it's hard because I'm in organizations and we pull different directions. But at the end, let's bring it together and figure something out. I know it's hard, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Wardlaw, do you have any comments? We're going to go down the list. None. Commissioner Vasquez?
Well, I guess we're going to close it up here pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken, Judge. But anyways, I just want to let y'all know that regardless of whatever decision we make, we're all for the kids of Valverde County. I mean, that's our #1 priority. I just want to let y'all know for that evening.
Commissioner Nettleton. Let's go through this, and then we'll see.
I want to thank everybody for coming out and listening, and especially the children that talked. That's very impressive. We'll never build everything everybody needs. It's unrealistic. The needs are beyond what this community would ever be able to afford. The problem is like 90% of the people here said, is the needs have always been there, and we've just talked them to death for 30 years and never done anything. We have to start somewhere. I'm not saying this is the perfect plan. I have concerns about the SE Ranch, but we have to start something. We have to move forward with something. Whatever that is, it is. If we want to keep the fairgrounds here and find another piece of land, I'll never support building at the SE Ranch simply because of my beliefs of the potential for the problems it will create with Laughlin. Find another piece of land. Somebody want to donate something, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. We will never, ever, ever build everything we need. And like you see in most communities, because I've traveled all over the United States playing some sports with some of my kids, they might have multiple facilities. It's not all one in one big area. They have multiple facilities spread out all over their communities to meet all the needs. My concern is that we do nothing. And we talk about this. I've been doing this for a very long time. This is probably the 4th attempt at getting one of these built in this community in the last 30 years. But at the end of the day, it's the people that need to make the decision about what they want. If the court doesn't like this plan, fine. Let's come up with something else. But at the end of the day, we need to work together to come up with something that everybody can live with. That includes the horse people. That includes baseball, soccer, football, volleyball, every single sport. And there's other sports out there. And that doesn't even include the needs for the community that just wants recreation, jogging trails, walking trails, biking trails, those kind of things. The community has a lot of needs, and I agree with everybody in this room that the city, the county, and the school district have to come together and come up with a plan. They can't do theirs and we do ours and we do this and we do that. That doesn't work. But if somebody can come up with another location and a plan that works, that doesn't deal with the issues that have to deal with Laughlin, I'm for that. And the millions and millions of dollars of infrastructure to get it to work, this is not what everybody needs, but it's a start. And I appreciate everybody coming out today. Thank you.
I'm going to be short and simple about this. We are going to build a sports complex for y'all. I don't know where, but we will build one, and there is money available right now. It's just a matter of lining it up to start the construction of the sports complex. There's a couple of $1 million that we can start working with before we get any grant money. Thank you.
I'd rather not, but come on up, because we're going to open it up again. And I was reminded a little while ago that we're here to listen to y'all, so we're going to listen.
Just one question. No statements, just one question.
You're
And
not gonna
if
get mad,
each
though.
one of them can go down the line. Can each commissioner tell us right now, if we move to the SC Ranch, that the base will not oppose that plan? That's my only question. Yes or no? If you don't know,
The answer
then
to
just
that
say-
would be is
But can
that-
each commissioner?
No, I'd rather not. I'd rather not for the simple reason that it's not fair, because that answer would be is we don't know. I will tell you that I was
Yes.
on a phone call today with Colonel Prather, and the conversation that I had, he had with another individual earlier in January, and he said that they would not make any comment until we figured out where we wanted it.
So it's a big question mark,
I would
correct?
like to say something related to that, okay? I would never put the base in a position to say yes or no. That is the exact reason that we signed a contract a week ago to do a J-Lou study, to enhance the existing J-Lou study, which is the only opportunity we have to look at encroachment issues countywide in conjunction with the air base. And out of that, all of these things will be looked at as far as encroachment around the base, but not just around the base, but also the entire county. Out of that study will come the answer to the question that you have, but I would never put the base on the spot to say yes or no, because their job is not to decide what is best for this community. Their job is to do their job, and that's fly planes. That is the purpose of this study that we are starting. That will be, I think it's a 12-month deal, and out of that will come the answer that you're looking for, I'm looking for, and every member in this audience is looking for. That process is already started. It's being funded by the federal government. It's not costing local taxpayers money. That will tell you the answer you want.
Real quick, there's been a deal about money. There's $2.6 million. We borrowed $4.3 million. There's $2.6 million in that loan in a certificate of obligation sitting there that is not earmarked for anything. We have another $4 million, 4.7. There was $500,000 of it already set aside before. We moved it. So you take that $500,000 out of the 4.7, there's $4.2 million that is ARPA money that is also available. We have $1.1 million, $1,120,000 that in 2023 and 2024, those payments will go away. Come 2025, we have $1.1 million that we have that I ain't got no payment for. So if we can figure out what we're doing, in answer to your question a little while ago about building more, we could literally stay within our lane and pick what we're going to do and not have to come back for the citizens for a tax rate increase. I think, Matt was here earlier, but I think we still have 3.5 cents that we could literally go up on your tax rate. I was asked the other day if it was necessary, if how I would vote. I'm the only sitting member of this court that voted the last go-round to raise taxes 2 cents. So if you ask me if I would raise y'all's taxes in order to accomplish the sports complex and if it was to cost me my election in January, answer is yes. I would. I don't believe, though, because we don't have dollars yet for our taxable value for this year. We've not had that yet. So I can't tell you what's absolutely going to be necessary. But this county has never been in the position that we are today when it comes to funds. I'm sure it's because of the court before I was here, but I know also it's because of the previous courts that we were a part of and the court that we have now. When we go out and borrow 9 point some odd million dollars over on 2 different types of notes, plus another $6 million for for the SE Ranch, with no tax rate increase, folks. Your values went up, yes, they did. Same thing, but we did not raise your tax rate. So, is there funds out there to pay for a bunch of this? Yes. How much money? I would think that we could probably go out for an $18 million certificate of obligation. It needs to happen soon. We borrowed money in 2019, one of the 1.7 million at 4.25% interest because it was a taxable note. At the other one, the 4.3 at 1.7% interest. The money that we just borrowed last year, the $4.3 million, Jerry's sitting here, we got at 1.3% interest over a 20-year note. If we are going to make a decision, it needs to be soon before our interest rates begin to go up. It's that simple. You've heard several people up here who've been talking about it for 20 years. If we continue to talk about it, the facility itself will cost us more money, and what we pay on interest will cost us more money. We have never, ever been able to borrow $4.3 million at 1.3% interest for 20 years. Jesus Christ, folks. This is the time. I was going to say like what my dad says, but we won't do that one. This is a time to make a decision. Our item said discussion and possible action on sports complex. I'm hearing from this group, take a vote. I don't think, I won't make the motion for it. I don't know if any of the 3 members that voted against it are convinced. And I don't want to have this conversation and this division again. I don't want to do it. I know that y'all are going to be mad at me because y'all keep saying take a vote. We need to decide, in my opinion, when we're going to have another one of these meetings and to try to answer some of the questions. There was cards back there for every member of the court. We need to decide, and members of this court need to decide, what is it that they need in order to change their vote. And I'm not saying the 3 that voted against it, I'm saying either one of us, either side. I personally don't think that today y'all would get the response that you want. Okay, I'm going to do this. I won't make a motion to go for a vote. Anybody else want to make a motion to go out for a vote?
We motion then. We motion.
Can't do it.
It's up to you, Judge. If you want us to vote, we'll vote. You decide, Judge.
Got a question, Judge. We got one question. If we would move out to the SE Ranch, would it take 12 months having to figure out if they would allow it? And would we have to vote on a bond and push this thing back?
Like I told you a little while ago, the the bond, if it was up to me, one member of the court, there's enough money that we could raise your tax rate and not have to ask y'all for anything. And that might sound sort of mean, but it is what it is. It would cost us $1.5 million more to put it out there. If you're wanting to wait for a 12-month until we get back a study, do y'all want to wait that long? You know, I personally, y'all would know how I vote. I'm not going to make the motion. If somebody wants to make a motion, let them make a motion to table or to move it at the fairgrounds or move it at the SC Ranch.
I'll make the motion, Judge.
Okay, Commissioner, what's the motion? Let him make a motion, and then we go on from there, if you don't mind.
I make a motion, we move the sports complex to the SE Ranch.
Okay, do I have a second? Second. Have a second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor, we're going to go by roll call. Commissioner Wardlaw, how do you vote? Aye. Commissioner Vasquez? Aye. I vote no. No. Commissioner Flores? Aye. Okay, it's a 3-2 vote, folks, and it's going to be moved to the SE Ranch. Okay, y'all wanted to vote. That's how come I told y'all not to. I will tell y'all not to be not for politics. There's 3 of us that come up for election. This is your time to speak. Item 6. Item 6, discussion and possible action setting another Commissioners Court meeting for public hearing. Not necessary. Item number 7, no reason to use it. Item 8, Commissioners' comments. Is there any? Item 9, County Judges' comments. None. Item 10, this meeting is adjourned.